Good morning, YouTube viewers and subscribers. So Ed, I've got your FT-240 Super Gemini on the stand again. I've run it a total of 3 times now, only once on video, trying to do the break-in, and we were still seeing this issue with the right cylinder. So I went ahead and reinstalled your ignition system, got the timing set on it, and I've got the setup ready to go. I want to show you a little bit closer look at how I've got things set up today, but hopefully we'll have a good run, and the only thing left to do is give it a shot and see. So here's a quick look at my current setup for today. As you can see, I've got Ed's RCEXL ignition system on here installed, and this one is an older one because it does actually say 4.8 volts to 8.4 volts as opposed to the ones I have, which are 6 to 12 volt. So right beneath it, I've got a newly purchased, newly fully charged 4,000 milliamp hour 4.8 volt cell or pack that just so happened I'll be using for this, but I've actually bought 2 of these for another project that you'll be seeing later on. I've got the line plugged in here. All I've got to do here is plug the battery into this to activate that. Here's my throttle control setup, and here's how I positioned it, so it should work rather well. I happened to find, I was thinking last night about something I could use to kind of shield the bottom of this from any goop that might fly backwards, exhaust residue and that kind of stuff, and I actually had an old McDaniel one of these charger and the glow igniter and charger blister packs that I kept for some strange reason, and I just cut the top of it off and it just slid right over that, so at least I've got coverage on the 4 sides. It's not doing anything for the top, but anyway, that's the setup. And if you look over here, I think you'll be able to see, I've got this magnet here is going to be passing by right about here, so I should just be able to do a single one-handed flip the correct location, and as soon as that hits here it should fire and ignite. So we should be in good shape. I've got a tank full of FAI fuel right there, so let's fire this baby up and see how she does. Okay, I've got a fairly wide angle shot for this, so the first thing I want to do is I want to prime this engine. So I'm going to go to full throttle and prime it. I'll open it a little bit about like that. Rotate it through a few times. Reset my needle valve, high-speed needle to 1, 2 turns from fully open. Now if all goes according to plan, the ignition system should be active right now. But that doesn't seem... battery unplugged. Okay, well, as you can see, it runs on this ignition system. Still seeing that issue with this cylinder running cooler, and it seemed like it was a lot more pronounced at mid-range. Obviously, one thing I didn't do, I just neglected to do it, was I did not lean the low-speed mixture screw out. So I would expect it to be rather rich at idle because of the ignition system, and it was set for glow and not ignition. So I think if I do another run, I need to lean that out just a little bit. It seemed to be running okay. I mean, it's interesting because I just have not encountered this with an OS engine before like this. I've already pulled the carb and the intake manifolds off, inspected the seals. Everything is a good seal, so there's no issues there. I didn't pull the carb apart, but if there was a carb issue, I would think I would see issues on both cylinders since it's a single carb feeding both of these cylinders. I checked all the fasteners for tightness, make sure that nothing was loose there and we didn't have an air leak. This has got brand new, well, very lightly used plugs in it because Ed, one of your plugs was bad. It actually was leaking air from the ceramic to the metal piece because I could see and hear hiss coming out as I'd rotate it through, and I squirted it with alcohol and I could see that coming out. So I'm not really sure now what the issue still is with this, unless it still just needs more time to run, but it ran fine on this ignition system and my battery, and I guess probably the best news of all on this run is that my throttle control servo tester setup seemed to work really well, which that's a plus. At least I can take that positive away. But anyway, that was the first run of this OS FT-240 on ignition with FAI fuel, a 26 master air screw prop, and an RCEXL ignition system. So thank you for watching.